Joyce and come in. Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Lynchburg. It's wonderful to see you all here this morning, both in the sanctuary and on Zoom. And isn't it wonderful to have Emily back in person? For the last 2 years, I've been sorry you haven't been here because often on Sunday mornings, somebody will say, isn't Emily's music just wonderful? So hopefully you got those vibes. But we're so glad that all of you are here this morning. Here we gather in a spirit of freedom and friendship. Whoever you are, whatever your beliefs, whoever you love, and whatever your age, we welcome you. As we work together for justice, compassion, and peace, we also acknowledge with humility that our buildings sit on land that was originally part of the Monacan Nation. I'm Terry Bailiff. I'm the professional minister in this congregation, but I share the ministry with all the members and friends of this community. If you're here with us for the first time, we're glad you chose to be here this morning to participate in this service for our church community we love. We would be happy to tell you more about our community during the virtual social time after the service. If you'd like to receive our monthly newsletter and Friday email, those updates, then you can either fill out a virtual visitor card online, or there are yellow cards in the backs of the chairs, and you can fill that out. Also, you may want to join our Facebook group. This week, we resumed the practice of locking the religious education door once the service gets started. And that's not to keep parents out, it's to just make sure that our young people who are having fun will be safe and our caregivers will be safe. During our flower ritual this morning, you're invited to come up the center aisle and then return to your seats by the side aisles. So now I invite us to just take a couple of calming breaths to leave outside the door anything that might be worrying us so that we can be fully present together and supported within this community. As we light the chalice of our faith, we share these words. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life. You know, it's such a different place. I was like, oh, I can't blow out a candle with my mask on. But we're keeping each other safe. Our opening words today are from Max Coots. We need a celebration that speaks a spring-inspired word about life and death, about us as we live and die. Through all the cycling seasons, days, and years, we need the sense of deity to crack our own hard, brown December husks and push life out of inner tombs and outer pain. Unless we move the seasons of the self and spring can come for us, the winter will go on, and Easter will remain a myth, and life will never come again despite the fact of spring. In that spirit of transformation and rebirth, let us rise in body or spirit to sing together, Lo, the earth awakes again. with us today and leading our time for all ages.
Turn your mic on.
Thank you so much.
There we go.
Good morning and happy Easter. All around us at this time of year, we can see flowers and trees blooming and showering us with sweet smells and wild colors of the rainbow. One of my favorite flowering trees is the dogwood tree, which is our native tree for the state of Virginia. In some cultures, the dogwood tree symbolizes rebirth and new life. Well, how appropriate for this time of year. It also can represent overcoming difficult times and changes. And we all know we've had a lot of changes coming up. That's part of life. So I want to show you a photo of some dogwood blossoms. You can see them. These are the ones that haven't opened up yet. They're still really closed up and they're about to bloom. So they're full of all kinds of promise as they prepare to open up and truly blossom with their sweetness and glory. Here's a photo of the dogwood tree blossoms from my own backyard. The dogwood tree blooms each spring right around this time. We're kind of like the dogwood blossom in a way. Sometimes we pull in to learn and then take some time to grow a bit, and then we open up and we grow bigger. Spring is the time when the earth is reborn. Plants are growing, blossoming, bees are going from flower to flower. Did you ever stop to think about how each of us also goes through a time of growth and learning new things? We all go through these times when new experiences call to us and they change the way we look and see and feel about things in the world around us. We can see the world truly in new ways. If everything always stayed the same and we didn't experience anything new and nothing ever changed, then we wouldn't be able to grow as individuals and find new ways of thinking. During these times, our families and our community also celebrate our growth with the new ideas and insights that you may have opened up to, like a beautiful flower opening up as a result of this growing time. Indeed, we even blossom too like flowers when we grow. So today, as we do each Easter Sunday, as part of our First Unitarian Universalist tradition, we'll be decorating the flower chalice with a celebration, not only of beauty and the resilience, ongoingness of spring, but also to celebrate each of you. So this morning, we'll be putting a flower in the chalice for each of our children in attendance, whether you're in the sanctuary or on Zoom. So Terry and I will call on each of you to celebrate the wonderful new growth that each of you is experiencing each and every day in your lives. We honor this growth today. So I'll start with those of you who are on Zoom. And if I don't catch you and I can't see you on here, please speak up. We don't want to miss anybody. So I'll start out with the Rust Martin family. Theo, we celebrate the new you. And let's all clap for Theo. Zana, we celebrate the new you. We celebrate the new you, Zana. Avi, we celebrate the new you. A big clap for Avi. Yay. All right, let's see who else we have on Zoom. Do we have, see Zoe and Olivia? Are you guys here this morning? Well, we will include you as we honor your growth. Zoe, we celebrate the new you. Olivia, we celebrate the new you. Miles, we celebrate the new you. And Arthur, we celebrate the new you. Hello, Kendrick family. Are there any other children that are in attendance on Zoom this morning? All right, well, we celebrate each and every one of your new growth this morning. And now, Terry, are there any folks in the sanctuary this morning?
Children in the sanctuary, would you like to come up and put a flower in for yourself?
Turn your mic on.
new you. Would you like to
Harry, you need to turn your mic on.
And Oliver, I'm sorry, I'm not remembering everybody's name. Oliver, we celebrate the new you. Sorry, I'm blanking everybody's name out, even though I know you all. See, I'm terrible. We celebrate you, Renee. And we celebrate you, Nora. Oh, that's beautiful. Shall we celebrate the boys? Okay. So even though they're playing, we'll celebrate Aiden and Gideon. Now, who else is maybe here upstairs that we want to celebrate?
They're gonna come down, so at the end of the service,
Okay, good,
they'll write them.
great. So we are so grateful to celebrate so many of our young people today, and y'all have made a good start in flowering the entire chalice, and I can smell the lilacs. It's wonderful.
Oh, shit.
So thank you, and thank you, Katrina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ministries of our church are supported by the love, talent, and gifts of our many volunteers,
You
and
need to turn your mic up.
as well as the monetary gifts that are offered for our community. So if you have found this congregation to be important in your life, then I invite you to give generously here in the
Yeah.
sanctuary or on Zoom by going to our
Yeah, there
website.
is a service.
I'm sorry, David.
Yeah, I can't hear you very well.
Okay.
I don't think your mic is on. Because I heard you better as you were getting closer to the.
Hello, world.
Yeah, that's much better.
I'm back. So
Yeah.
now let us take an offering of our gifts to further the work of this community. In this church, it's our tradition to share together our joys and concerns. And each day, we give thanks for our loved ones and friends. We grieve when they become frail, and we see dementia and other illnesses take them from us. We hold up today also the gratitude we have for illnesses that in this day can be cured, so that our loved ones, especially our precious children and grandchildren, can live hopefully a long and precious life among us. We give thanks for all those who are ill in mind, body, or spirit, that they may find healing and wholeness. We give thanks for renewal, for rebirth, for the possibilities that lie ahead of us that will certainly contain joy and suffering and challenge. May we in every day remember how precious life truly is. And because we are aware of the preciousness of life, may we find the work that is ours to do to bring justice, peace, and harmony into our communities and our world. Blessed be. Amen. Easter is a complex holiday for Unitarian Universalists. How do we engage with the Easter story? Those of us who see Jesus as our ethical teacher might consider what and how we should believe about the story. Is it literal truth? Is it myth? Is it metaphor? For the last few weeks, I've really been thinking a lot about the question that's most important for me, and that is really about the kind of God, if we want to use that word, that would willingly make this story possible. A God of love, one of indifference, one of anger, one who intentionally punishes, one that needs a blood sacrifice. How might we engage with the power that is greater than we are, depending on the definition of God that we believe, that we claim for ourselves? For me, it comes down to love or fear. You use made our choice centuries ago. We rejected original sin and read sacred texts through the lens of a God of love and compassion. We also didn't find a rationale in Scripture for the concept of the Trinity. We are surrounded by people who have chosen a God of fear. Do we humans need or want a punishing God? That's been a question, an argument that's gone back and forth since European colonists first came to this continent. Personally, I don't think we need a punishing God, but there are plenty of people who see themselves, sadly, as bad or unworthy, often because they've been told that is who we are. They've been told that so often that it becomes a reality in their lives. We punish ourselves and others enough. We hang on to our wounds long after we've survived and outgrown them. We reject healthy boundaries that might keep away those who make us suffer enough. The story of Easter is not about that. That is not what Jesus taught. We know there's suffering in the world. Of course, often we have a weak understanding of suffering, meaning that we think suffering happens, but it's okay for it to happen to somebody else, but not to us. We don't know how to handle suffering. Today, we see love and compassion oppressed around the world by those who support, who value fear and hatred more than love and compassion. Those who support the suffering and dying of human and animal life, often because they label others as sinners or less than the true believers. Why do we have to blame God for suffering? Perhaps suffering exists because humans are weak and flawed. Human beings cause the suffering of others. When we look at the Easter story, we can say that an incredibly holy man died. He was murdered. It was political. Does his message change because he died on a cross? No. We Unitarian Universalists focus on his teachings, on the witness of his life, not of his death. He taught human beings how to live with hope and courage and compassion. Despite our human frailties, we can become new again. Easter is a time to consider what we want to release from our own lives, what has to die in us so that we can be renewed and transformed. So, what does have to die in us so that we can fully love ourselves? One of the readings for Easter that's in the hymnal that I particularly like to read this time of year is called Rolling Away the Stone. In the tomb of the soul, we carry secret yearnings, pains, frustrations, loneliness, fears, regrets, worries. In the tomb of the soul, we take refuge from the world and its heaviness. In the tomb of the soul, we wrap ourselves in the security of darkness. Sometimes this is the comfort. Sometimes it's an escape. Sometimes it prepares us for experience. Sometimes it insulates us from life. Sometimes this tomb life gives us time to feel the pain of the world and reach out to heal others. Sometimes it numbs us and locks us up with our own concerns. In this season where light and dark balance the day, we seek balance for our own lives. Grateful for the darkness that has nourished us, we push away the stone and invite the light to awaken us to the possibilities within us and among us, possibilities for new life in ourselves and in our world. The spirit of Easter is indeed a time for us to seek and to find new life. This yearning to be renewed, to be reborn, does not belong only to Christians. It is woven into many ancient traditions about life and rebirth. This gift originally came and continues to come from Mother Earth herself, who offers all living creatures a season of renewal and transformation, no matter what is happening in our lives. If we look back before the Easter story, we find an older truth. Adrienne Ross reminds us in her writings that Easter gets its name from the Teutonic goddess of spring and the dawn, whose name is spelled Oestri or Estri. The spelling Ostara honors the goddess as the word for the vernal equinox. And the vernal equinox sometimes falls between March 19th and 22nd, depending on when the first full moon is on or after the equinox. Easter falls sometimes in March, sometimes in April, like this year. The equinox was always recognized worldwide as a time of renewal, rebirth, and revivification. It's a celebration of the symbolic resurrection of Earth herself. This archetype of death and resurrection is found not only in Christianity. We find myths of great enlightened beings in many of the world's religions. And the gods in other religions have stories that are very similar to that of Jesus, about the God being born on December the 25th, born of a virgin. There are many similarities. We can look at Horus in Egyptian mythology, Mithra in Persia and Rome, Dionysus in Greek mythology, Krishna in India. The list could go on. The birth stories carry so many similarities, and they all offer wisdom to humanity. These great beings of human history, whether mythological or living humans, spoke a word of hope, reminding us that just as the earth is reborn and renewed each year, we too have the possibility of cracking our old hard December husks to become more than we thought we could become. We need to break out of old patterns because life is either going to grow or disintegrate. we're either going to become more awake or more asleep. Renewal and rebirth are a sign of our growth. The earth reawakes into a burgeoning new season of life-giving, earth-affirming gifts. As the sun becomes stronger, there's a sense of joyful abundance. Whether we find a stirring within us right now, or we can't shake the winter, life emerges again. We celebrate the message and life of Jesus and all those illuminated souls throughout the ages who have taught us how to transform our minds and hearts. So let us rise in body or spirit as we sing together, Spirit of Life, 123.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, we set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Thank you, and be seated. As we come forward in just a couple of minutes to place a flower on our chalice, let us do it with a sense of hope and possibility. The world is becoming new again, and so can we. Our aches and pains may be there, but let there be a lightness in our being, knowing we are part of a community that affirms our growth, our new possibilities, who we are. Or perhaps this is the year when we need to quiet ourselves and help others who are renewing their lives. Whoever we are, however we are experiencing life at this moment, we are part of this community and cherished as we are. That is the message of the flower communion. We honor and celebrate each one of you. So come as you're so moved. After each person puts a flower on the chalice, we will celebrate him or her. Good morning, welcome. Hey, we're so glad you're here. So after you put a flower up here, I will call your name and then we will all say we celebrate you. Because we want every one of you to know that we do celebrate every person. And then when the people in the sanctuary have put their flowers on, Then Joan will call on people in Zoom, and we will put I'll put or Bob or I will put a flower on the chalice for you, for each of you. So as you were so moved, I invite you to come forward. Bob, we celebrate you. Trudy, we celebrate you. Ah, Phyllis, we celebrate you. Nora, we celebrate you. Oh, that's a big one. That's good. And Courtney, we celebrate you. And Kim, we celebrate you. Miles, we celebrate you. Thank you for being here this morning. Riley, you want some help? We celebrate you. Let's put yours right there. Which one? Oh, sorry. Hey, are you Gideon or Aiden? Are you Gideon? Okay. Thank you, Gideon. Gideon, we celebrate you. Joanne, we celebrate you. Bob, we celebrate you. Beth, we celebrate you. Hugh, we celebrate you. Oh, thanks for the lilac. Stacy, we celebrate you. Oh, aren't those great? Okay, so tell me your name. Huh? Levi, yes, sorry. I have senioritis. We celebrate you, Levi. Pat, we celebrate you. Jim, thanks for balancing it out. We celebrate you. And we celebrate you. We're so glad y'all are here today. Lori and Stefan, we celebrate y'all. And Chris, we celebrate Chris too. Even though he's being a teen. Gretchen and Tom, we celebrate both of you. Oh, perfect. Some dogwood in there. That's great. Aiden and Kaylin, we celebrate both of you. And Spencer, we celebrate you. Do you want to put another one in? Did you put one in before, right? It's okay, the more the merrier. Matt, we celebrate you. Put one in for that baby too. Mike, we celebrate you. Chloe, we celebrate Chloe. Michael, we celebrate you. There needs to be a violet in there. Hi, Riley, you want to come help me? We celebrate you, Betty. I love those violets. Rose. We celebrate Calvin and we celebrate Rosemary. And we celebrate Auden. I love these lilacs. We celebrate Dave.
Celebrate you, Dave.
Yeah, we all do. We celebrate Barb. Yay. We celebrate Jennifer. We celebrate Kaylee. Which kind of flower you want? Aren't those gorgeous? And Joan, would you like to name folks who are on Zoom? Let's start with David. We celebrate David and we celebrate John hiding back there in the sound booth.
We have Katrina.
We celebrate Katrina.
We have the Ross Martin family.
Oh, we celebrate.
Fawn. Yeah. Fawn, Theo, Abe, and Zana.
We celebrate each one of y'all, and let's put, is it Louie or Lulu? Let's celebrate your new dog.
And I think I maybe just saw Jason wave. So he's there.
Celebrate Louie.
And we have Makana.
We celebrate Makana and her new knee.
And Dick.
I'm sorry, Dick. We celebrate you, Dick.
We have Anne and Larry.
Anne and Larry, we celebrate you. Hey, Riley.
Gary is with us this morning.
Gary, we celebrate you.
Phyllis.
Phyllis, we celebrate you.
Steph and Susan.
Steph and Susan, we celebrate you. And
We have
thank you, Theo and Abe, for helping clap.
Greg.
We have,
Greg.
huh?
Greg Allen.
Greg, we have Greg here. We celebrate you.
Audrey.
Sorry, the sound isn't, who did you just say?
Audrey.
Audrey, we celebrate Audrey.
We have the Kendricks.
We celebrate all 6 Kendricks.
And we have Sam.
Sam, we celebrate you. And who's on iPhone? I don't want to celebrate just the iPhone.
It's Milda.
Oh, Milda, we sure celebrate you. We're glad you're back in the state.
Absolutely. Lovely, lovely service.
And Joan, we celebrate you. We celebrate Emily. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Emily. Thank you. Thank you. Our closing, I offer a closing blessing by the late John O'Donohue. He said, on this Easter morning, let us look again at the lives we have so generously been given and let fall away the useless baggage that we carry. And let us have the courage to begin again. Life is very short, and we no sooner are here than it's time to depart again. And we should use to the fullest the time we still have. Let us now rise in body or spirit to share our closing hymn, A Promise Through the Ages Rings. Thank you so much,
A promise through the ages rings that always, always something sings, not just in May, but finch filled now, but in December's coldest hour. Our note of hope sustains us all. Our life is made of many things, bright stars, bleak years, and broken rings. Can it be true that through all things there always, always something stings? The universal song of life. Entombed within our deep despair, our pain seems more than we can bear. But day shall pass, and nature knows that deep beneath the winter snow, a rose lies curled and hums its song. For something always, always sings, this is the message Easter brings. From deep despair and perished things, a green shoot always, always springs. And something always, always sings.
As we extinguish our chalice, we share these words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Diego Rivera wrote our blessing. You who have an eye for miracles, regard the bud now appearing on a bare branch of the fragile young tree. It is merely a dot, a nothing, but already it's a flower, already a fruit, already its own death and resurrection. Be at peace and go out to enjoy this beautiful day. Happy Easter and happy Passover. Blessings. Let's take a few moments of gathering.